But when he got our test results back, because when he came to change our water softener, that's when I had asked him to have the water tested, and he said he'd have to have it sent away. He called on the phone. He said, by no means. He said, stop drinking your water. And then he came out and he showed us the paperwork. And he said, I know where it's coming from. He said, but I can't prove it. And he said, and if I would go and accuse, he said, they could have me, just...
Slander.
Yeah.
It seems like
he said, but you
like
guys have
that's
opened up a
even
can
now.
of worms, he said, with this. Because our
This
level...
is a DEP guy?
Well, see, the one was the DP guy, and
And
the
then the
one's
other
the
one was
other one up for water softeners.
the system in.
But the one DEP guy, that's and you know something, I told them about him. They asked me what his name,
Yeah.
Pipeliners,
We told
they asked-
Spectra
I told
what
him
he
about it.
said.
What's his name? Who's his name? Who else and everything?
Who was it?
There's all. I've never seen that guy back there
No.
again. Never did.
They said, I can't believe DEP even says that, because we have to jump through hoops in order to even be able to
I
drill.
claim to be jumping through hoops, but
Oh.
the well that blew up in Moundsville, and I think it was on the 7th, they signed the lease on the 4th. They got the permission. Anyway, they got their written piece of paper put there on the 4th. 3 days later, they were drilling and it blew up. So I don't know what they're talking about, jumping through hoops.
Yeah,
It seems to me that they're popping up as fast as they can make them.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And they're banging on doors
Mm-hmm.
and offering people money.
And you know,
Yeah.
whenever you're offering somebody money like that, you're trying to cover your tracks from some way. The way I'm thinking about it, that'd be the same way up me sitting here and everything. And it'll be you and everything. You're sitting here and you're working for them. You're offering me money. You know what I mean, for that there. No, come on now. Something's going on. You
Yeah,
know,
but
just figuring
but
it's just a
in the
matter of
letter it
speech
told
of it.
us, it even told us not to eat any vegetation that we had growing.
Yeah, and all at the same time, that's our garden. You know what I mean?
But they
Your
said they didn't see
vegetables.
anything on it. But we had tomatoes and we had
How do you
several.
water that garden when it gets dry?
Hmm.
Where do you know what I mean? So whether
Mm-hmm.
See,
you guys still eat out of it?
well, I planned one this year, you know what I mean? I don't know
Yeah.
what's going to do yet, you know what I mean? But if I'd go to, see, now I got my spring and stuff hooked up. Well, see, don't get me wrong, it held up all the years before, you know what I mean?
What's to say
But-
it wouldn't go
but how-
dry?
If it goes dry, I'm done for, you know what I mean? If it something messed up the water, I'm done, then completely, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no way that I can go out and buy water for my family, you know what I mean? To drink water and all that all the time. There's no way I can afford all that.
I have
Trying
heard
to afford my-
instances of where the gas companies will park what do they call them, hogs or a big old water truck, just park it on the property for you to use till you drain it, and they bring you another one after they've messed up the water.
That's what they did whenever they drained our spring.
That's first, yeah,
Okay, they gave one of those
they brought a water tank in.
But we couldn't drink it.
Warthog. No, I can't remember.
Well, see, it's just like a big plastic jug, like big plastic containers.
Yeah, it was
They just
very
dropped
good.
it off.
Mm-hmm. Big one. See,
And
like
then they
a-
brought water from bottled water from Roaring Springs for us to drink, but it was just for us to basically do dishes and wash, things like that. But then they didn't even want us to do laundry. They said they would reimburse us to go to the laundromat,
That's when Texas Eastern came through,
and they drained our spring because they waited 31 days before they decided to drill a well. They kept waiting to see if our spring would come back, and the whole time that gas line was uncovered because they were laying.
where they dropped the pipe in, full of water. I mean, full
Yeah, it
of
was-
water up. Up as far as I don't know where my water was coming out of the bank, but it was full right down by the road, clean up through.
But as
Was
soon
it
as they
raining?
covered that,
No, that was my spring water in that there pipe over there. So
Redirected it.
yes.
well, see, that's where it was up. Yeah, whenever they dug, that's where it followed that there down. But the way I look at that there, okay, that pipe's in the ground right there, okay. If my spring water's coming right out from under that son of a gun, what's still coming across that pipe and all that stuff there. So where's that going? You know what I'm saying? You know how I'm trying to say it? I don't know if I'm saying it right
Well, you
or
got
wrong, you know what I mean?
You got a pipe where they're trying to pump something out that they obviously don't want to mix with the water, but it's sitting in the water. I can see.
I
Your,
don't know
I can
if
see
I'm
your
saying
fears
it
there,
right or
absolutely.
not, but it bugs you. It
I
does
think
bug you.
I think I learned in physics class one time that anything under pressure eventually leaks.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a big leak or a little leak,
Yep,
it
that's
gets
right.
out.
Yep.
And
But then that's how we knew that it was our spring that had rerouted over there, because once they covered the pipe up, it was 3 days later, and then that's when our spring started
Yeah.
to come back.
now, tell me about like the foam. Do you guys see foam coming down the creek here?
Well, see, I never really paid too
No,
much
I
attention
saw
to
it.
down to the creek.
Angel called me
said-
and she said, it was one morning, and she said, Michelle, she said, you're not going to believe, she said, go down to the creek if you get a chance. And it looked like soapy water, you know, like the bubbles. I did. I went down and you could see it. I mean, I think she videotaped that too.
Yeah, she's gonna give me that video.
And see, over my mom's, my brother.
That was
he
in the
turned-
paper.
My mom, they turned the hot water. My brother, he was saying about it and everything. He said, "You want to see me make bubbles real quick?" They got a hot tub over. He went back and turned the hot tub on. I'm telling you one thing. It was bubbling where if he had left it on, keep leaving it on, it just kept bubbling out on the floor. That's how
Yeah.
hot it was bubbling up in the
He
freaking
didn't
air.
turn the bubbles on the
No,
machine.
it was just
the water was
the
bubbling.
water. Just the water was bubbling.
Because even her sink spigot, because they had a picture, it just
Yeah.
had her hand, your mom's hand, and she was getting a glass of water, and it was just all like foamy
So it was
Yeah.
something. I'm telling you,
that was
I
coming
could
out
not
of the
believe it.
spigots.
How far do they live from here?
Just straight over the other side of the hill.
Okay.
See, they put the pressure and stuff. They bought that piece of ground off my mom.
But I
That's
doubt if
where
they
it's at.
talk.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mom gets aggravated. She just doesn't know what to do half the time anymore. She says she gets aggravated for, you know what I mean, selling it to them, you know what I mean? She said,
She
but it's
regrets.
too late. I did it now. She said, yeah, I may have been wrong again. She said, but I didn't think it was going to do everything
I
it
think
was
the
going to do.
truth of the
you know?
matter is, they were gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, I believe that. I can believe that. You
And-
know, the way I look at it sometimes, I think,
Because if you don't
think-
sign right here, but look on the other side of the hill, you're still gonna catch the
yeah,
foamy creeks and the bad taste of water. Because that, you know, what's coming in your water here, what comes through your taps is not coming directly up, up, you know, straight up from underground into your water. It's
Right.
from somewhere else.
Well, that's what he tried to explain to them. He said, what goes up has to come down, you know, because when they were saying that, no, it just all sprayed over there, you know.
the air thing was going that way. No,
Yeah, the
come
air
on
was
now.
moving that way. That's
That-
what,
He's seen the video.
That
There
didn't
was
make
no air.
that didn't make sense. That it made, but that Kevin McCleary, I'm telling you one thing. Oh,
he said that he
Well,
wished
he
that
paid
on
out
his
a lot of
property
that, I mean.
was the Marshall, that shell thing. He said because he would let them drill right next to his house. That's how safe it is. That's what he was telling us. He said, that's how confident I am. He said, not because I worked for the company. He said, but I would let them drill right next to my house. And I'm thinking, you're full of crap.
Yeah, because now you're not gonna be able to sleep. 'Cause the trucks will be in and out all night.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, like when they dropped off the refrigerator magnet.
Yeah.
Okay. He came bebopping in the house down the sidewalk, and he said, "Here, this is the best thing since sliced bread." And it was Steckman Ridge. You could write on it and erase it. And I said, "Really?" I said, "Well, what do you think about these windmills?" Because I heard that the gas company is going into these windmills. And he said, "Oh, well, I bought my property so I didn't have to hear the noise." I said, "Well, maybe you'll get lucky and they'll build a compressor station beside you, Kevin."
Yeah.
Well, he got all flustered and he looked at me and I said, "You know what, Kevin? I got the perfect place for this refrigerator magnet. The perfect place." "You do?" I said, "You darn right I do. It's going to go right on my refrigerator right beside the funeral home."
Yeah.
And his face dropped and out the road he went.
He made a lot out of it.
Yes.
I mean, a lot out
There's
of
a
it.
lot of people that,
Pal
Not
out
care
of it.
for
And
him.
you know
He's
something?
leaving.
I know that's what I heard. That's why I said he
oh,
don't.
is he? Where's he going?
South Carolina,
He don't got no worries about it.
Who's this guy?
the land agent.
Oh, okay.
He owns D&M Farm Supply. It's a farm store up in Bedford. And that's how the gas company does. What they do is they get somebody to plant them in the community as far as like, okay, Kevin McCleary bought D&M Farm Supply. Okay, they planted him there. That way they had somebody in the community that he was feeling out the community so that when all this stuff was going to come about, hey, we know Kevin. He works at D&M. He's an RA guy. You know, because he's now considered a local.